Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc's Dumpster, where it's a review of the movie Hudson Hawk. Well, this one is about, of course, as you might have guessed, Hudson Hawk and his partner in crime named Tommy, who are, what else, art thieves. And, well, they're up to obviously no good. And, of course, Hudson, he winds up meeting up with a woman who seems to be a nun, who is actually a Vatican counter espionage worker. She works for them. Yeah. And of course, there are bad guys in the movie named Darwin and Minerva Mayflower. They're nuts. They're crazy. They're insane. And of course, there's a scene where Hudson meets up with a CIA agent whose name is George, and you'll love his agents' names: Snickers, Kit Kat, Almond Joy, and Butterfinger. I'm not making this up. So Hudson Hawk and Tommy go through this incredibly insane adventure throughout this entire movie, and it really seems like that Hawk is trying to do everything he can, of course, to woo the girl and everything like that, and also getting all kinds of weird, crazy, insane adventures. Like at one point, riding on a gurney down the middle of a freeway on a bridge, I believe it was, where some guy flicks a cigarette at him. He takes a puff and says, "Ew, menthol." It's a crazy adventure movie, and came out in 1991. Honestly, I thought it actually came out earlier than that, but it was panned by critics. Naturally, it didn't do that well at the box office. On a budget of $65 million, it just made a little over $17 million. And to tell you the truth, that is a pretty good sized drop. But I guess back then in 1991, people really wanted to see a Bruce Willis action film and take it kind of sort of seriously. But the movie starred, of course, as I said, Bruce Willis, Andy McDowell, Danny Aiello, James Coburn, and Sandra Bernhard. So now the big question is, does this movie really deserve to be put into a dumpster? I said, does this movie really deserve to be put into a dumpster? Okay, I'm sorry about that. I don't remember a motorcycle being in the movie, but no, it does not, in my opinion. This is a movie that has become a big cult classic. It's incredibly, insanely funny. When Hawk and Tommy are getting ready to break into or try to rob the art museum, I believe it was, they start singing. And there are just so many wacky, crazy moments in this movie, and like the one I mentioned before, where Hawk is on a gurney, hanging onto I believe it's some kind of a sheet out of an ambulance. Sandra Bernhard was just way too over the top in this movie as a villain. But I can't say she was the real reason why this movie bombed. There are funny one-liners in this movie, and the movie, it's almost like borderline parody or borderline spoof. Whereas, it has a lot of one-liners in it, but it's not really a movie that parodies anything. But I mean, I like the fact that Bruce Willis co-wrote the story, the screenplay, whatever you want to call it, and it's really a movie that after it came out, my dad and I sat down and watched it, and we both enjoyed it immensely. And it is definitely, I don't know if I would call it an adventure movie or a comedy or maybe a little bit of both, but if you have not seen this movie, that's part of the reason I really didn't want to spoil the ending for you guys, because I think you should give it a watch. Again, it's a movie that since it's been in theaters, on video, DVD, whatever you want to call it, I think it would really hold up to the test of time. And compared to a lot of the really, really, really much worse movies that have come along since this one has come out, you may actually get a kick out of this one. And if you have seen it, I'd love to know what you guys think. If you liked it, cool. If you didn't, well, that's okay too. But I'd love to hear from you guys. But there you guys have it, a review of Hudson Hawk. And again, I apologize for that motorcycle sound going by. That was not supposed to happen. But again, I liked it, and it's definitely a movie I would love to add to our DVD collection. So there you guys go. If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. Hudson Hawk. It's alright. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. And until next time, as always, stay strong and rock on.